Rain moving out, cooler weather coming on in for this election day, but our quiet weather stretch will be short lived. Let's talk about it in this Tuesday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Good morning, I'm Texas Storm Chasers Buddy-in-Chief David Reimer. It is Tuesday, the 5th of November, 2024. It is Election Day, which means the commercials are about to end, and for that alone, I'm grateful. Let's go ahead and get into the weather for today. We do have a line of showers and storms across portions of southeast Texas and the coast at the time of recording this morning. That will be moving off into the Gulf of Mexico. Likewise, we'll have some activity in the Golden Triangle this morning, moving off into Louisiana. For a majority of the state, we are already drying out. And for the eastern third of Texas, along with the coast, will be drying out as we get into this afternoon, leaving tranquil, low-impact weather for those of you heading out to vote. Otherwise, mostly quiet tonight and for most of tomorrow, but things are going to start changing by Wednesday night as the chance of showers, some fog increases, and by the time we get to the end of this little video here, you're going to see some precipitation moving into parts of the Panhandle of West Texas, and yes, some of it may fall as a rain-snow mix, and that will take us into a busy Thursday, Friday, and maybe a bit of Saturday. Here's the fire weather outlook from the Texas A&M Forest Service. Over the next few days, we are expecting an uptick in fire danger as we get into Wednesday across the southwestern half of the state, where we did not have widespread wetting precipitation. Sorry about that. But we'll be chilling things out on Thursday as rain chances actually do kind of move into those areas. So, at least the bad news is short-lived. Now, let's talk about something rather obnoxious for November, but figures, right? Tropical storm Rafael near Jamaica this morning, expected to rapidly intensify into a hurricane and move over Cuba Wednesday afternoon. And from there, yes, guess what? It's going into the Gulf because it's November. Yay. From there, it looks like it's going to turn northwest. And looking at this, you might think I'd be concerned about a tropical storm or hurricane hitting Texas this weekend. I am not, and I'll explain why. Nevertheless, a hurricane is likely to make it into the Gulf of Mexico Thursday morning. It's going to move northwest and most likely be somewhere off the Texas-Louisiana coast this weekend. Notice it's expected to weaken from a hurricane to a tropical storm rather rapidly as we get into this weekend, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, typically this is the part of the show where I'd show you the American weather model using the same weather graphic software as I do the High-Res Rapid Refresh model. Well, today we're going to look at the European weather model, and there's a reason for that. The European is taking into account the possibility that Rafael may try to make it off the Texas coast this weekend. The Global Forecast System American weather model actually has it remaining well east of us, and the implications here are simply we would have precipitation continuing into parts of Saturday morning. So, with that in mind, the European, in somewhat of agreement with the North American model, which is a shorter range weather model, tends to be the favored forecast solution here, keeping precipitation chances for parts of Texas into Saturday morning, while the American weather model is faster and pushes it all out Friday night. So, here we go. You can see we're expecting a wet Thursday, western half of the state. Potential for scattered to numerous thunderstorms, some of which will produce heavy rain. Expecting a line of storms to move across the eastern half of the state on Friday. Some storms on Thursday and Friday may be strong with hail, maybe some gusty winds. The overall severe weather threat is uncertain as we get into especially Friday. We'll have to see. If we're able to build some instability, we may have an issue with some comparatively higher chances of severe weather. We may actually have a low tornado and damaging wind threat in addition to some hail. Regardless, good beneficial rains. Western half of the state, Thursday into Friday morning, some snow in the Panhandle of West Texas. That shifts to the eastern half of Texas Friday, with perhaps some of that continuing into Saturday morning. You can see this model actually does keep some precipitation chances continuing into Saturday morning across the eastern half of the state. moving out by Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, but still, because of the moisture from Raphael, if it makes it into the western Gulf, we could have precipitation, maybe even into Sunday morning across the eastern third of the state. That's something we're going to refine in the coming days once we get a better grasp on where Raphael is going to go. Regardless, even if Raphael attempts to approach the coast, it's going to be squashed like a bug, because on the backside of our system Friday and Saturday, we're going to have a cold front push through. And conditions, frankly, off the Texas Gulf Coast are not favorable for the maintaining of a tropical cyclone. Water temperatures coming down. We're going to have plenty of wind shear, which is detrimental to tropical cyclones. So it's going to get shredded like a taco. But still, if it does make it into the western Gulf, we're probably going to get moisture out of it. So here's the forecast rain totals this morning through 6 a.m. Sunday. Yes, sirree, Bob, look at that. We're expecting beneficial rains across the Panhandle, northwest Texas, west Texas, the Big Country, the Concho Valley, north Texas, Texoma, into the Hill Country, northeast Texas. Heaviest rains, northwestern quarter to northwestern third of the state. We could be looking at widespread 2 to 4 inches of rain. Locally higher amounts, perhaps. Some folks will get lower just because it's fun to throw eggs at me. Permian Basin down to the Edwards Plateau. Hill Country generally looking at 1/2 to maybe 2 inches of rain. Northeast Texas, East Texas, northern Brazos Valley, eastern North Texas, about 1 to 3 inches of rain. Southeast Texas, about 1/2 inch to 2 inches of rain. And then along the Texas Gulf Coast and the Rio Grande Valley coastal bend, 1/4 to 1 inch of rain. Of course, these will be refined a bit as we go over the next few days. In terms of snow, if we're dealing with it, we'll have to keep an eye on the Panhandle, West Texas, especially the western Panhandle, close to the New Mexico state line. We'll see if we can mix some wet snow in. We'll see if we need to throw out a snow accumulation graphic in subsequent forecasts. We might, but... All right, let's take a look at temperatures over the next 5 days. Here's today's high temperature forecast. It's not bad at all. We're looking at 50s to 60s, Panhandle, West Texas, borderland, Guadalupe, Davis Mounds, Trans-Pecos. We're looking at mostly 60s, northwestern half of the state, northwest wind. So it's going to be a cooler day, but still quite nice for early November, to be honest with you. It's just we're still used to it being September weather. Northeastern half of the state, 70s to 80s, cooling on down this afternoon. Not a bad day at all if you're stated online to vote. Tomorrow, highs only in the 40s in the northwestern Panhandle. We're expecting 70s to 80s across the rest of the state. Here is Thursday. You can see why we might be having a bit of snow in the Panhandle of West Texas. Highs only in the 30s and 40s. Rest of the state, over the warm sector, 60s, 70s, 80s, with low 90s back in the Rio Grande Valley. Here is Friday. Honestly, same story, same situation. Rain, storms. And then as we get into Saturday, as we expect most of the state to start clearing out, especially by the afternoon, especially the western half, we'll have highs in the 50s in the Panhandle, 60s, western, northern third to half of the state, 70s, southeastern half of the state, with 80s right along the coast into the Rio Grande Valley. Not bad at all. I hit the wrong button. Hold on. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Thank you. Technology and I just don't get along, but that's okay. I'll drink more caffeine and we'll have a day. All right, if you're heading out in line to vote, again, good news is we should see most of the rain ending across the eastern third of Texas by this afternoon. Rest of the state should be mostly dry this morning. Not a bad day weather-wise at all, especially with the storms moving off the coast already. Tomorrow, decently okay. Increasing rain chances beginning tomorrow night, Thursday, Friday. First half of Saturday, wet, stormy, bit of snow for some. And then hopefully we'll have a bit of a lull as we get into Sunday, Monday. Then it looks like another storm system approaching as we get into the 6 to 7 day time frame next week. So what is this, Tuesday? So yeah, I guess 7 to 8 day time frame. It's hard to maintain days sometimes. It's been a busy couple days. So with that being said, we appreciate you tuning into this morning's Texas Weather Roundup. As always, you can get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radar, and more in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps for your device. You can find us on the web, texasstormchasers.com. Have a great day, y'all.